Good evening, my name is Kacper Paradowski and you're watching Poland Daily News. Earlier today, the Venice Commission issued their opinion on a judicial reform bill currently debated in the Polish Senate. According to the Commission, the law proposal constitutes a threat to the independence of the courts. In response, Polish Minister of Justice Zbigniew Ziobro stated that the activities of the Venice Commission is a form of neocolonialism on the part of the old states of the European Union towards Poland. The Commission is an advisory body to the Council of Europe, and its opinions are not binding. In the January 16, 2020 document, the Venice Commission opinion suggests that some of the changes proposed in the December 2019 amendments to the Common Court laws and the law on the Supreme Court might be viewed as limitations to the independence of the Polish courts. The opinion also suggests that the rights of Polish judges might be seriously limited in regards to probing the Polish law, whether it complies with the European law. What profoundly comes out of that document, which in my opinion is a parody by that international body, is segregation. The content the authors are proposing comes in line with the opinions I have heard before from the ministers of justice of the so-called old EU countries, which are that they represent the more mature democracy, they represent the wiser and higher level of the judicial culture, they are more civilized and have a clearer view on the basis of democracy, and therefore they might do more than the Poles. I have always replied in an assertive and firm way that first of all brought some high-end ministers or other EU officials down to earth, explaining that the tone of such superiority is associated negatively by Poles with many events of Poland's history. In addition, the tone many of them use is shameful for a serious representative of the old Europe. The European Parliament has adopted a resolution condemning Poland and Hungary for being in breach of the rule of law. The resolution states that the situation in both countries has worsened after the procedure of the Article 7 of the Treaty on European Union was implemented. The European Parliament turned to the European Commission as well as the European Council to use any available tools to eliminate the risk of infringing upon the values of the European Union. A heated debate preceded the resolution in the Parliament. It was Deputy Prime Minister Beata Szydło who ordered not to publish the judgments of the Constitutional Tribunal. This was the beginning of the process which led to breaking the Polish Constitution and the rule of law. She is also not impartial on this matter, since she currently has a case pending against her.
Mr. Sikorski has just lied. I should actually sue him since there are no cases against me, for one thing. Mr. Sikorski, please read with comprehension. You are a liar. You are not worthy of the mandate you were given by the voters.
Robert Biedroń from the left shouted from the stand that free courts in Poland have not died just yet. I have some bad news for the Law and Justice Party. Free courts are not yet lost so long as we live. No matter how loud you scream and how many muzzles you put on us, whatever leashes you try to hold the Polish society on, the Polish society will keep going out into the streets to defend the Constitution, the rule of law, as well as constitutional order. Law and Justice MEPs argued that the European Parliament is misinformed by the Polish opposition in terms of the situation in Poland. Meanwhile, changes in Polish judiciary are awaited by the society, since they had not occurred after the fall of communism. This is very characteristic of you, speaking in very broad terms, claiming the rule of law is being broken in Poland. Not one of you explained why the choice of judges is politicized in Poland, and you know why? That is because if you did that, it would raise questions. The resolution was backed by 446 European Parliament deputies. 178 were against it, while 41 abstained from voting. The resolution is not binding. It is merely an indication for the European Commission, Council and the Member States of the European Union. Magdalena Biejat of the left has been dismissed as chair of the Parliamentary Social Policy and Family Committee. Biejat was a supporter of the legalization of abortion before the 12th week of pregnancy, as well as the adoption of children by homosexual couples.
This turn of events was not a surprise for anyone, including the former chairwoman of the Social Policy and Family Committee, Magdalena Biejat. As a sign of protest, MPs of the Left and the Citizens' Coalition left the room.
You are judging Ms. Biejat for her views, because that is the only charge you have against her, because she thinks differently from you.
The committee chairwoman is being replaced by Urszula Rusecka of the Law and Justice Party. I am sad that the opposition left the room. The elections of the previous term were held in an entirely different atmosphere. I understand that we are all emotional, but the emotions will go down and we will get to work. Magdalena Biejat was also elected by the votes of the deputies of the Law and Justice Party. Against her candidacy, there were only 3 members of the ruling party. The election of a radical supporter of abortion and LGBT ideology caused great controversy. In December, Law and Justice Party spokeswoman Anita Czerwinska announced a motion to change the chairmanship of the committee, justifying it with the lack of sufficient activity on the part of Biejat in this role.
In our
opinion, Magdalena Biejat was largely spreading her ideologies instead of taking up work in the committee. Biejat herself does not agree with the arguments of the Law and Justice Party MPs. According to Biejat, she did not receive a proposal to remain in the presidium of the committee as vice chairwoman, and the Left Parliamentary Club did not get a proposal to chair a different committee. Nobody spoke to me about this. The woman from the Presidium did not report any problems to me in advance concerning my work in the committee. The Law and Justice Party are doing everything they can to silence us, but we will not be silenced. 19 committee members voted for the dismissal of Magdalena Biejat, 12 were against, and nobody abstained.
Today, the leaders of the 4 Visegrad Group member states, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, met with Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz in Prague. The big topic of the day was the Just Transition Fund unveiled by the President of the European Commission as part of her Green Deal program intended to lower greenhouse gas emissions in the EU.
The new fund has been designed to help coal-dependent regions move towards a greener economy on Thursday. Czech Prime Minister Januray stated that the Czech Republic and Poland had pushed jointly for the funding, but also underlined that no real change will take place unless the EU manages to convince non-EU states to limit their emissions. The EU Parliament and Commission should not only talk about climate change, but also about these issues: economy, migration, Schengen borders. We also have to say how we can force other countries to decrease emissions, because they are just going another way. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki stated that the EU must understand that Poland has a completely different starting position than other states, being heavily dependent on coal for energy production. It's good news for Poland, and we also saw it in yesterday's draft proposal of the distribution of the Just Transition Fund, because our partners in Europe understand that we have to have a long and difficult road towards achieving carbon neutrality, and maybe it will take a bit longer and we will need to have more funds.
Jednocześnie dużo dłuższą i cięższą drogę w kierunku tej neutralności przejść.
The Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban underlined that the Visegrad Group has been united on the issue, but also warned the EU that it shouldn't finance the transition fund with money from the cohesion and common agricultural policy funds.
Egyelőre ezt képviseljük.
Yes, this is a joint stance, and we represent this at the talks unilaterally. Then we will see what the situations will unfold at talks. But today our firm opinion is that if we want more Europe, then we need money, and the financing of new programs such as the Climate Protection Program should not be realized at the expense of the old financing programs like the Agrarian and the Cohesion funds. We agree with the goal, but we will fight for the financing. The transition fund's 100 billion euros over 7 years will come from leveraging a small amount of public money from the EU budget, 7.5 billion euros, aiming to attract much bigger sums of private investment by covering the riskiest parts of projects.
Fardin Kazemi, an Iranian truck driver who got stuck in Poland after his truck broke down in December, has finally received his new vehicle paid for by Polish citizens who quickly organized a fundraiser to help the man stranded 5,000 kilometers from home. After the original deal for the new truck broke through, Kazemi had to return home to see his family, but has now flown back to receive the gift from the Polish community.
Kazemi's 30-year-old truck broke down in December at the end of his long tour across Turkey, Bulgaria, Serbia, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic and finally Poland. With seemingly no hope left, Kazemi prayed for a solution. When the truck broke, I understood that it had a serious fault and addressed God. I said, "It's only you and me here. I am far away from my homeland. It's 5,000 kilometers. Nothing can be sorted over the phone and nobody will do anything for me. Help me." And he did, so that everything came together and I have this truck now. The help came in the form of a fundraiser organized by Polish truck drivers and motor enthusiasts. In less than 24 hours, almost 100,000 zlotys were gathered and the Iranian trucker can now drive home in his new gift. I want to say two things to those who helped me. Thank you. I will always remember your help. This gratitude will be in my heart forever. They have earned this money with their own hands and helped me with this money. I shake their hands. I feel their hands in mine. I want to say that people, my family, will always see what they have done. It is like an eternally opened book of history. People will forever remember what the Poles have done. For those who organized and donated to the fundraiser, it didn't matter what was Kazemi's nationality or skin color. All they saw was a man in need of help. I am very happy that we managed to put this all together. When he'll be on the road home on Monday, it will probably be one of the most beautiful days in my life. He received a lot of warmth and help from us. Above all, we developed a close relationship. We spent a lot of time in the car together during the last month. We talked a lot about family and home. It's such a human element. I think everybody understands that. I have tears in my eyes, but I am very happy about it. I supported the action. I did not see the situation so as not to help, because last year I had the opportunity to be in Iran, and I had the daily opportunity to see how people help other people selflessly, not necessarily from Iran, but from every other country. This is something wonderful, and I can't imagine a situation when Fadin is not getting help.
Jest czymś po prostu wspaniałym.
To the people of Poland who have helped me, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dziękuję, dziękuję, dziękuję.
That is all for tonight. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for Poland Daily Business. Good night.